Hey everybody, welcome back to our latest live stream. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day so far. This is our first live stream in almost a week, so I'm glad we're back. We do have a lot of severe weather to get to in this live stream, beginning with the slight risk of severe weather that we do currently have ongoing in Idaho, as well as Montana. There's a marginal threat there, and there's a marginal threat in a few other states. We'll kind of go over what's going on the radar as of right now, along with the severe weather that we also have down in Arizona today, and obviously the monsoon weather that continues down that direction. Again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, hit the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's begin though with our first one of the biggest severe thunderstorm warnings that we currently have ongoing. This one currently is producing hen egg sized hail and as well as 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds. So this is definitely a pretty dangerous storm right now. Fascinating enough, this is impacting a whopping population of 0. So luckily nobody's in the track of this one, but this is just east of Whitebird and Riggins. This will be going toward 14. I do know that there's a few more homes along 14, but beyond that, it is a very rural area, but definitely the worst storm that we currently have ongoing as of right now. Definitely could produce some tree damage. Obviously, there's a lot of mountainous regions in these areas, so we'll definitely see some impacts there. But overall, this severe storm is moving off to the northeast. It is likely not going to really impact a whole lot of locations over the short term, but may a little bit later on. A couple other storms that we have ongoing as of right now. These warnings are actually expiring. They are originally producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's back up near Plains and as well as up near 200. Those are moving off to the northeast. We had another warning back up here near 2 that's also just been expired. We might get new warnings there pretty shortly. Back up near northwest of Cut Bank, let's go over to a radar site near here, and it actually looks like the radar site's down, but this storm as of right now is producing quarter-sized hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. That is north of Highway 2. Let's go over to the other radar, and this is a better look at it, so you can definitely see that the storm is actually pretty potent as of right now, moving off to the east, again north of Highway 2. Cut Bank maybe in the track that a little bit later on. That will be tracking off to the east over the next several minutes. Another storm to watch pretty closely, and back down toward Boise. I know it's Boise, but there's actually a storm ongoing down here that is actually producing currently some golf ball sized hail. This is a warning actually pretty close to a very populated region in Boise, closer to 21 as of right now. It is producing golf ball sized hail and damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. That is currently, by the way, moving off to the northeast. There's a cell just off to the east of that as well that is producing similar threats as of right now, around $half sized hail though, a little bit smaller. And here's a look, by the way, the better look at the hail core as of right now. We can definitely see a fairly large hail core here, just off to the north and east of Highway 30, and again, just down to the south and east of 21. We definitely have a pretty large hail core here. Let's go over to the hail radar. We'll take a look and see what is currently being estimated here on radar. Again, this is not too far away from Boise, so I'll have to watch this one pretty closely. And here's a look at the hail radar. So it is very well indicative of at least golf ball sized hail as of right now. So that's where we're peaking as of this point, just to the east of 21 and north of Highway 26 and 30. Back out to the east of this, most likely in a fairly rural area. Looks like a lot of mountains over here, around quarter sized hail with that storm. So obviously some of this hail could very well accumulate today. That is also another, small concern. Obviously, accumulative hail is not overly common, but with the setup that we have today, we have very high lapse rates. That could very well help the overall potential for maybe some of this hail to accumulate over the next few hours. Again, here's a look at this storm as of right now. Excuse me. Let's hop over to some of the other warnings that we do currently have ongoing. I have another one down to the south. This one may actually kind of direct itself maybe off to the north towards 78. I don't think it's going to get to Boise, but this is another storm to watch just west of Grandview, currently producing some ping pong ball sized hail. And by the way, obviously there's a hail potential, but overall the dew points in this area are actually fairly low. I'm pretty sure I can bring this up on here. Let's go over to the dew points, and you can see, look at the dramatic difference in dew points. We're talking dew points below 40 degrees back over this direction. They go down into the teens in some areas. The massive difference, though, you can see some of the dew points in here between 55 to 60, so it's just barely enough to be able to support enough buoyancy for these storms to really develop and become severe. So it is pretty impressive how these storms are actually developing really along a serious dew point contrast there down to the south. All right, let's go down to Arizona real quick. We do have some other severe weather down this direction. We'll be watching this pretty closely. Most of the storms are just producing some 60-mile-per-hour downburst winds. You can see this one right now near San Carlos and east of Globe. That is producing some 60-mile-per-hour winds. Another one near Queen Creek, and as well as near Apache Junction. That is also producing some 60-mile-per-hour winds. That is near the radar site. We have a lot of flash flood warnings. As I mentioned before, our last forecast, that will be a potential with a lot of these areas, mainly due to the fact, again, there's a lot of rain in this area and a lot of stationary showers and storms. Flash flooding will definitely be a concern. Other 60-mile-per-hour storms off to the southwest, basically southwestern portions of Arizona. Beyond that, not a whole lot of warnings down this direction. We have a lot of flash flood warnings, though, ongoing, and you can just see they're everywhere right now. Let me take a look at the rainfall totals here over the last couple of hours, or at least let's go the last 12 hours. We'll take a look at how much rain's actually fallen down here in Arizona, and you can kind of see this is updated as of, I believe, 3 o'clock Mountain Time. So we are currently about an hour from the latest update. A lot of these areas are currently estimated around up to an inch. I definitely can't rely on tire, though. Obviously, there's a lot of mountainous region. This area doesn't see a whole lot of rain, poor drainage. That could very well lead to some flooding issues as well. Most of the warnings, though, as of, oh, okay, never mind. It was actually not updated. Okay, now we're actually updated to 4 o'clock. Here's a look at the rainfall totals. My apologies. This is a look at the rainfall totals now. You can see 4 inches of rain in this storm specifically, just down to the southeast of Gillibend. So there's obviously been a lot of rain, and all these warnings actually for flash flood warnings are at least 2 inches, which I was kind of confused there at first. So as of right now, 2 to 3 inches has fallen with every single one of these flash flood warnings down this direction, up this direction, closer to Apache Junction and Queen Creek. This area just off to the east of there, around 1 inch to 2 inches. Another area just off to the north of Superior, around 2 inches of rain as well. No flash flood warning for some of these. A lot of the rain may have fallen at other times as well. Back up near Prescott, just in the last 12 hours, there's almost been a foot of rain, which is insane. That's near Prescott. And again, a lot of these areas have been dealing with flash flooding, and that's very typical for this time of the year. Again, we have that ongoing monsoon weather. Another little area as well, just off to the southwest of Prescott, around 3 to 4 inches, and an area just off to the east of the Nevada and the Nevada as well as the Arizona border, around 3 to 4 inches. That is north or south, of Baghdad. Again, I've never really been in this area, so a lot of crazy stuff over here. Back over here to the west of Kingman as well, we've been around 1 to 2 inches, a couple of areas, even just down to the south of there, almost up to 4 inches of rain. So you just see the amount of rain that has fallen in this area. It's a lot, obviously, but a lot of the heavier amounts are very isolated locations. So you can also see back up in northwestern portions of Arizona, a lot of the rainfall totals as high as 3 inches. So there's been a lot of rain in these areas. Obviously, we'll have to monitor this pretty closely, and a lot of flash flood warnings out there as of right now. We are currently sitting at, let's take a look, 26 flash flood warnings. We have 13 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing, and obviously that will continue throughout the day today. I believe we have a new one here near Phoenix, by the way. This, I believe, was just issued. Yes, this one was just issued east of Phoenix for the potential for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Let me real quick go over to adding the roads to Arizona. Let's go and do that real quick, so we can see a little bit more of what we're looking at here. And there we go. So this will look at the roads and kind of give you a bit more of an idea of where we're at as it downloads, or might have downloaded. There we go. So you can kind of see this is a little bit better of a look at it. Obviously, there's a lot of people that do live in Arizona, so a lot of flash flooding concerns, especially just off to the east of Phoenix. Again, we'll be watching that pretty closely throughout the next few hours. By the way, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch ongoing up until about 9 o'clock tonight Mountain Time. That is 10 o'clock Central Time. You can see a lot of warnings already ongoing. We got several of them. Not really a whole lot up in northern portions of Idaho or western portions of Montana. We'll watch it closely. But overall, the worst of the severe weather is currently down here to the south, and you can very well see the worst storms right now. This one especially west of Grandview, a serious hail core developing here, moving off to the north. This again does not expire until 4:15, so another 9 minutes, but that very well could be at least potentially hen egg sized hail. And there's a potential again that we do see the potential for maybe hail over the size of hen eggs today, so we'll have to watch that pretty closely. Prescott, is it Prescott, Arizona? Really Prescott now? I could have sworn it was something else. We do have a camera, by the way, coming in. This is from Boise, by the way, of the serious amount of rain that's falling just off, it looks like, to the west. So this is westbound, looking in that direction. A lot of rain obviously falling here over in Idaho, and this is again in Boise, so again a much more populated region. Definitely seeing a lot of rain out that direction. You can just see all the rain coming down. I don't see a whole lot of other features with this as of right now. Watch it closely. Again, that is the storm that was westbound. I'm assuming had to have been somewhere over this direction, because there's no storms west of Boise. The only storms right now are east, so maybe there might have been east. This is quite a storm that we're looking at there. This one currently is producing up to golf ball sized hail for reference, so we're definitely looking at a pretty decent storm here. Alrighty, let me get to some chat questions. Again, if you haven't already hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Hey, Personality, appreciate your $5 super chat. Rain coming from the Gulf. That is an interesting question. I don't think, let me look that up. I'm actually not entirely sure. I don't think. That's actually a really interesting question, because I've actually not learned anything about that yet. And that's a question that is actually really interesting. All right, let me go back to the other storm real quick. I'll take a look at it real quick. We do have a new warning, by the way, down to the southeast of this. This does not include any locations as of right now, but it is south of Highway 26, producing ping pong ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds as well. So that's a brand new warning moving off to the north and northeast. I think it has something to do with, I mean, kind of, I think depends geography. I can't talk, but basically where you are in the, you know, if you're close to the coastline, it's probably saltwater. If you're kind of inland, it probably is some sort of freshwater or something like that. But I don't think rain, like overall rain is not really like, I'm trying to explain it well, but like, I don't think it's like all saltwater, you know, it's not like you're going to get, you know, super sticky. You know how you go in the ocean and a bunch of salt water, like you'll kind of feel it. You'll start to get a little bit sticky because of the salt water. I don't think it's necessarily like that, but it does have some traces, I would say, of salt. But yeah, that's an interesting question. Appreciate your $5 super chat, though. Prescott? Okay, thank you. I gotcha. I didn't know it was localized. 1 second. We have a shelf cloud in Georgia. If there's any outflow boundaries, that's definitely a possibility. It's probably not an impressive one, though. All right, this storm, by the way, is starting to weaken a little bit, which is good news. All right, we have another photo coming in over in Phoenix. Here's a look at that. This is a storm currently rolling into Phoenix from Gabe on Twitter. You can see that that is a pretty impressive photo, by the way. A lot of rain there in the background. And obviously the stormy clouds rolling in. That is, again, in Prescott. Or, no, it's in Phoenix, sorry. I was trying to make sure I was pronouncing that right. That's in Phoenix, Arizona. So obviously there are a lot of storms in that area. A lot of those mainly damaging wind producers, but we'll have to watch those again very closely. Here's a look at the velocities, by the way, just for curiosity's sake. Again, most of this will not be rotating supercells by any means. That's not really the setup that we have today, but we definitely could very well see some very strong downburst winds. Again, they could peak around 70. I don't think they will exceed 70 today in terms of damaging winds. But we very well could see maybe at least some damaging winds upwards of 70, maybe up to 75 in an isolated storm or two. Here's a new warning, by the way, for those near 14. This is for golf ball sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This warning was originally when we went live for 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and hen egg sized hail. So brand new warning here, again, 60 to 65-mile-per-hour winds, and as well as a little bit of golf ball sized hail. That's moving off to the northeast. Let me go and put a track on these storms, kind of give you an idea of where they might be heading. If anybody does live in these locations, obviously it's a bit more of a rural area here in Idaho. This is our first ever Idaho and really Montana live stream. We don't typically do these. This is going off to the north about 45 miles per hour, and as of right now, no locations really in the track. The next area, which would probably be a couple hours from now, would likely be up here near Highway 12, maybe going towards Stevensville and Highway 93, but obviously there's a lot of time in between now and then. We'll have to watch that one again very closely. Back down here to the south, this warning does expire in 4 minutes. We may get a new warning on this for at least $1.25 sized hail. This is moving off to the north at about 20 miles per hour. Let's go and put a track on this. I don't think it will get close to Boise. It's going to be in the track over the next couple of hours, but I do think this is going to probably weaken a little bit. As of right now, Kuna's in the track at 527, and then Boise right around 548. Obviously, a lot in between now and then, and this is a lot of outflow-driven storms down this direction, so these will not nearly last as long as some of the other cells that we do have back up to the north. So that will be something to watch as well. Here's the storm again back over to the east of Boise, and you can clearly see a fairly large hail core still ongoing here. It does have a little bit of specks here. It's kind of blocking it out, but definitely a fairly large hail core here. This is definitely a very nice looking supercell overall. 60 to 65 mile per hour winds, and again, maybe some golf ball sized hail moving off to the north. Dye your hair electric yellow. Okay. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that's ever gonna happen, but yellow? I don't think I'm ever gonna dye my hair. Tornadoes are not possible today. Not really. I mean, there could be a potential brief tornado or something like that, maybe a brief spin up, but I don't think we'll see anything at the ground. There isn't a whole lot of low-level shear today, and the low-level jet is not overly impressive either. It's a lot of bulk shear today, which is going to help to produce that damaging wind component. Obviously, the lapse rates, by the way, are fairly high today. So definitely something to watch too. Lapse rates, when they're high, we definitely can see that potential for some isolated to maybe some like isolated large to very large hail. We're talking potentially as high as tennis balls, but I do think the main threat today is likely going to be under tennis balls. I think like really as of right now, most of these storms, like this one for example, I think most of them will peak at golf ball size. We could see an isolated hailstorm or storm around, you know, hen egg or something like that, but I just don't think it's going to be that widespread of an event in that regard. We do have a new warning, by the way, that does include areas now north of Grandview view. This will be going again towards Boise. We'll see if it stays alive. It is warned for $half size tail. No downburst winds with this specific cell. Again, Boise would probably be in the track in about an hour to an hour and a half, so probably somewhere around 5 to 5:30. If it does survive, it may bring some rain. Depends on how quickly it weakens, but that'll be moving off to the north. Yes, Angel, yes. We're currently, again, Idaho and Montana are the main threats today. So apparently over in Phoenix, about 5 minutes ago, yeah, about 10 minutes ago now, there was some dust being kicked up. Now, that very well could have been from some strong downburst winds. I'll go and retweet it on Twitter if you want to go check that out. But obviously, there's obviously a lot of damaging winds down that direction with the storms that are developing. But one thing to keep in mind is down in Arizona, again, monsoon weather, stationary storms, dust being kicked up, though, is definitely interesting. Again, downburst winds definitely could have caused that. May have even been a brief sort of, land spout of some sorts as well, but probably pretty unlikely there. Love potatoes. Idaho's known for potatoes. I think that's I think that's how it goes. We do have a new warning, by the way, east of Boise. Again, this is for ping pong ball size tail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Again, this storm's been actually, the shape of it is very impressive. As I kind of said before, it looks almost like it has a hook there. Obviously, not a whole lot of low-level shear today, so it's going to be really hard for any of these storms to rotate. But we definitely see some large hail out of this one as it moves off to the northeast. Again, here's a look at the velocities. Nothing to be seen here in terms of rotation, but we definitely could have some strong downburst winds with this one. Again, that is east of 21. I'm going to go and see if we have any camera views on any of these storms, because obviously I don't know if we have many in Idaho, but we'll take a look. And again, if you have any photos or videos, and if you do live in Idaho or Montana, feel free to send those in on Discord, on Twitter, any of those, all linked down in the description below. All right, let me go and take a look if we have anything over in this area. This is again near Boise. Boise State is over here, I'm pretty sure. Not here, but kind of off to the west of this. I think the only unfortunate thing about the Idaho area, from what I looked before we went live, was there was a lot of cameras that are not updated. Like, they are like month plus outdated old. Like, the photos that you see on there, they're just not recent. So it's kind of unfortunate. This is from actually recently. This, I believe, was from a little bit earlier today. But this is a pretty cool photo. Let me zoom it out a little bit. Let me make sure we can see this on the camera. You kind of see in the background here, look at all those cumulus clouds building back there. Pretty interesting. That was from, I think this is in Boise as well. So a little Boise action there from what I just saw there. That was the air quality camera, by the way. And that was in, let me take a look, just east of Eagle, northwestern portions of Boise. I believe that's looking off to the north or like west, or north or west, one of the two. That was pretty impressive. Definitely not looking south, I don't think. Yeah, obviously a very interesting amount of clouds over there. Obviously, a lot of these storms are going to build up. Let me take a look at the infrared imagery. Let's go and take a little peek at that. Look at the infrared imagery for today, or right now at this point. And the cloud tops actually, I don't think are that high today. This is a look at the infrared imagery. Now, you kind of see they're not blowing up like you typically do. Not like Arizona, for example. The cloud tops might be a little bit smaller over this direction. Obviously, we have a lot of mountains in this region, but you can kind of just see how all these storms have developed over the last few hours. Pretty impressive. You can kind of see them back over near Billings and Wyoming. Not any of those have really been severe at this point. But back down in Arizona, it is a completely different story. You can just see how much higher the cloud tops are. When you start to see those darker reds and whites, that typically indicates that we have higher cloud tops, especially down in Arizona. And again, a lot of these storms are producing damaging winds around 60 to 65, and obviously flash flooding concerns on go. And you can just see how much higher these cloud tops are, though, in this area. Definitely a massive difference in between states here. Once you go back up here to the north, not nearly as impressive. Let's take a look at the live radar. Let's go over to, let's take off the speed here. Let's go back into one of these storms here, and let me take a look at the radar. I'm not sure if it'll estimate it accurately, but we'll take a look. And the echo tops are actually not even showing on here, which is interesting. They are glitched out, but obviously there's a lot of mountains in this region. I don't think they're above that. They're not that high, though. I think that, yeah, it says 40,000 feet, so it might be around 40,000 feet today. I'm not 100% sure, though, on that. We'll take a look here in a second. Yeah, again, this is moving off to the north-northeast, this specific storm. Again, there's a severe thunderstorm watch ongoing tonight up until about 9 o'clock Mountain Time. So we'll have a good amount of severe weather in between now and then. Obviously, a lot of hail more than anything. We'll see if we get any of that cumulative hail that I was talking about at the beginning. We very well could see some of that. Let me take a look at this watch real quick. The watch was issued, by the way, about 2.5 hours ago, which was when we began to see some severe weather. But a lot of it has been, at this point, widely scattered. Nothing too crazy. It's not going to be a widespread event by any means, but we definitely could see some widely scattered hail and damaging winds with these storms. Let me take a look, though. I'm trying to see if we can find that information. Does it actually say? I think it says it on the watch. Maximum cloud heights or maximum tops are 50,000 feet. So that's what we're looking at. But anything for Louisiana tonight or today? Nothing in terms of severe weather. There will be some storm activity, at least near the coastline if you're in southern portions of Louisiana or right off the coast. The National Hurricane Center actually has issued a 10% probability over the next 48 hours of a tropical system developing down that direction. Let's go and pull that up real quick while we're at it. Since we don't have any new warnings yet, we'll get probably a few here in a second, though. This is a look at the development, though, down here in the Gulf of Mexico. Again, there's a 10% chance of this developing within the next 48 hours, but it's probably pretty unlikely. It'll bring a good amount of rain, but nothing beyond that is expected. We do have warnings, by the way, over in North Carolina. There's like 3 here for some reason, but we do have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing with just this one cell producing damaging winds up to 60 and a little bit of dime-sized hail. So that's our new warning out this direction. Obviously, North Carolina, a lot of the storms down this direction, not really any sort of organized severe weather, so we typically do not see a whole lot in terms of risks being issued for this area. And you can see there's a lot of storm activity here, but none of this really is organized to the point where there needs to be an outlook in terms of, having some sort of storm prediction center outlook, like a marginal threat. Not really needed for unorganized events like that, but we will watch that one pretty closely if any storms do develop down that direction. And again, we have several storms ongoing. The one to the east of Boise seems to be falling apart a little bit. It's not nearly as impressive as before. Again, it might be producing still a little bit of ping pong ball sized hail, but I do think the hail potential is going down just a little bit on that cell. All right, let me go over to this real quick. So over in Sabino Canyon, I'm hopefully saying the name right, over in Arizona, there's been some huge flooding in that area. And obviously, again, there's a lot of flash flood warnings down that direction, but that is one of the most recent reports that we have coming in down there. And again, flash flooding is going to be a concern down that direction. A lot of flooding. Again, we're going to retweet that over on Twitter. So you can click the link down in the description if you want to check that out. That's crazy. Thank you, Debbie, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. I don't think we have any pictures down in Prescott as of right now. I'll take a look at the cameras down there, though. See if we have anything. But I'm not sure if we have a whole lot down that direction. We'll take a look. Yeah, as of right now, again, a lot of the storms right now producing. We do have a warning, again, producing some golf ball sized hail. We have reports from earlier up to ping pong ball sized hail in Cuprum, as well as over in Idaho County and Riggins. There was reports of $half sized hail. And no other damage was reported other than leaves down, so that's good news. But that is over in Riggins. We've again had a few reports up that direction. There hasn't been a whole lot of reports. Obviously, Idaho is not a populated region by any means. It is definitely a bit more of a rural area. I believe the coverage today is around 2.3 million people are in risks today, and that's again Idaho, extreme eastern Washington I think was included. Obviously that area probably not going to see much more today, and as well as western Montana. That will be the next area in track of storms today. Let me take a look at Arizona, though. We'll take a look and see if we have anything over that direction. Yeah, Prescott is definitely probably going to see a little bit of some storms today, and as of right now, actually on the roadways on State Road 69, there's actually been a good amount of rain that's fallen there. Just kind of looking at one of the cameras, but fortunately, there isn't a whole lot of great cameras in this area. We do typically struggle. I'm going to have to figure out a better way to get some good camera views, but a lot of the cameras are right now down. Take a look at Phoenix. Phoenix might have some. A lot of the cameras are down. It's crazy. Alabama. I just clicked on Alabama by accident. All right, there's 4 yes, I'm aware there's 4 warnings near Charlotte. Again, we'll cover it if there's anything needed to be noted there, but there's a lot of warnings. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure one of them must have got glitched out or something because of the county lines, but yeah, there's really just one storm. Again, it's producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's nothing too crazy to be concerned about, though. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, not a whole lot of good camera views in this area, unfortunately. Yeah, but down in Prescott, obviously, we're gonna have that continuing whatnot in terms of rain and whatnot. Actually, in Bitter Springs, Arizona, there's also been some flash flooding there. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet that one as well. That is where Reed Timmer actually is right now. So There's a lot of flooding in those areas, and it looks like an entire river has formed in Arizona, basically. So, and that'll be retweeted on Twitter. But ping pong ball size tail. There you go. Ping pong. We don't even need to make an emoji for ping pong ball size tail. Bro, no, there's not. There's no tornado threat today, really. I mean, again, I can't rely on a brief spin up, but I just don't see it happening. I think for the most part, we're looking at primarily damaging wind threat today. We actually do have a report coming in. What in the world is going on with this report? But we do have a report coming in from this storm near Murphy. That's again near Grandview, just down to the south of Boise. 1-inch tree or 1-inch diameter tree limbs are down. Winds estimated to be around 60 miles per hour, and there's also maybe a little bit of nickel-sized hail with this cell. Again, the current warning is for $half sized hail, and there's not really any wind component with this. Obviously, some gusty winds not out of the question, but it seems like as of right now, we are currently looking at more of a probably hailstorm, but I'm not seeing a whole lot of damaging winds at this current time. It looks to be a little bit weaker. We have a new warning back down over to the south of Highway 26 and southwest of Bliss and Glens Ferry. This is producing 60 mile per hour winds and $half sized hail, so the warning's been downgraded by about 1/4 inch of hail. That's about it. This warning goes until 5 o'clock Mountain Time. We'll put a track on this and see where it is currently heading. We'll take a look at that. And the storm's moving about 20 miles per hour. So I have a few areas on the track. It's basically Glens Ferry in about 25 minutes or so, and Bliss right around 5:01. So maybe just about 35 to 40 minutes until that storm reaches your location. Beyond that, though, it'll be probably going to a rural area beyond Glens Ferry and Bliss. Again, a lot of mountainous regions, a lot of rivers. Eventually, maybe going toward Highway 20 and back up near Highway 20 near Fairfield. We might get some storms up that direction here pretty soon. Back out to the north again, a warning is likely going to be expiring here. It's down a 1/4 sized hail in this storm in the middle of nowhere, east of Cascade. And then back up here, we still have a golf ball sized hail threat ongoing. We do have a new warning back out to the east. It looks like in Montana, but this storm seems to be weakening a bit. This storm is currently warned for up to golf ball sized hail. It's definitely not producing nearly as large of the hail as it once was, though. It's also producing 60 mile per hour winds, but I do think that hail threat is starting to go down on that cell. Back out to the west of Anaconda, as well as south of Phillipsburg, this storm is a new warning for damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour, and as well as 1/4 sized hail. That's moving off to the east northeast. Georgetown and Porter's Corner are both included, so that's again a brand new warning there. Over in, it looks like, yeah, Montana. And again, Montana is included slightly in this risk of severe weather today. It is, again, a slight risk for severe weather today. Back down to Arizona, I believe we have new warnings down here as well. We still have a couple ongoing. One is ongoing. It's going to expire in 4 minutes down here near 85 south of Gila Bend. That is moving off to the west and northwest. Again, flash flooding concerns are definitely the main threat right now. We also have a warning actually for Phoenix, Arizona for damaging winds around 60 miles per hour. Fountain Hills currently seeing a little bit of storm activity. That, again, is moving off to the west. Phoenix, Scottsdale, Glendale, all on the track. Mesa as well, all on the track of this severe thunderstorm warning. We will watch this area actually very closely, since this is definitely a bit more of a populated region that we're looking at here. But again, moving off to the west, obviously there's also been some hail reports. Not anything really crazy. Most of the hail has been under dime size. It looks like one dime sized hail report back over in the Phoenix Mesa Gate area. So that's what we've seen so far. Another storm, by the way, out here to the east, producing 60 mile per hour winds and up to nickel sized hail. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Let's go back over to Phoenix. Phoenix, again, next area and track of this severe thunderstorm warning, moving off to the west and west southwest. Hey, Gabe, how you doing? Welcome back. We actually had a dust storm in Phoenix. Let's take a look at this. This is a look at the dust storm entering into Phoenix. This is, again, this is from what we were just seeing, the rain and obviously the outflow boundary likely creating this, spurring up that dust. Yeah, dust storm over there. I should say stand, but creating a dust storm obviously over there in Phoenix. And again, the outflow boundary as of right now is really located right here. That is what we're seeing. That could obviously sprout maybe a little bit of the sand and maybe potentially create a little bit of a dust storm here. Let's look at the velocities. And you can see the highest winds actually associated with this outflow boundary are definitely right here. That is north of Tempe and south of Scottsdale. So definitely a little bit of something to watch there as that moves off to the west. Lots of flash flood warnings. We currently have, let's take a look. I think we have a lot. I think it's at least 20. Yeah, we have 29 flash flood warnings and 13 severe thunderstorm warnings. So yeah, there's a lot of ongoing flash flood warnings, unfortunately, in this area. And obviously that is going to continue throughout the next several days. There is a chance of flooding basically every single day for a large portion here of the southwest. Let's go and see if I can pull it up on here. I think I can't somehow. This is a look at today, for example. This is the outlook. So again, the slight risk of flash flooding exists all across Arizona today. Tomorrow is basically the same. It shifts slightly to the east, but not by much. It still includes almost all of Arizona. And then heading into the following day, on the Sunday, it also includes anywhere, again, from Arizona back out to the north. It starts to focus more of itself back up in Colorado as well as Wyoming. So it's kind of what we're watching as of right now. And also along the Gulf Coast, there's a potential for some flash flooding as well. Not really a whole lot today. There will be a potential maybe tomorrow and as well as maybe heading into Sunday. Again, that is with that potential for something to develop potentially tomorrow. There will be a low-end chance that we might see a little tropical system develop. Again, it's a 10% probability. It is very low, but we'll have to watch that pretty closely. We actually do have a dust storm warning in effect by Arizona. So I've actually never seen that before. I'm curious to see if I can pull it up on here. This is a dust storm warning in Arizona. Take a look if I can see if I can pull that up on here. Might be difficult. Dust storm warning. There we go. Let me go and pull this up. This is not supposed to be green. We'll put it over to orange. Do that. It's going to put the dust storm warning on. There we go. This is a look at the dust storm warnings. It actually includes a large area, anywhere from Phoenix back down here to the south. So these are all the areas included in the dust storm warning. It goes until 5 o'clock Mountain Time for these locations. So again, Phoenix currently under that warning. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if it's actually under every single county here. But that, again, dust storm warning ongoing until 5 o'clock Mountain Time, which is another approximately 30 minutes. And that's obviously all to blame because of the severe thunderstorm warning, again, producing some 60-mile-per-hour winds. So something to watch pretty closely as that moves off to the west and west-southwest. And we do have a new rain report coming in over in Apache Junction of about an inch of rain in only 20 minutes. So that's kind of what you can get a general gist from with these storms. They are producing a lot of rain in a short amount of time. And again, 20 minutes for almost an inch of rain, that's pretty quick. That's about 3 inches an hour if that storm were to be stationary in that location. So again, flash flooding concerns definitely concerning, obviously, in these areas. Thank you, Storm Chaser. I heard. Again, I'm not sure if there's a shelf cloud there in Statesboro, Georgia. If you have a picture, feel free to send it in to me, but can't confirm it any other way. It didn't seem like there's a whole lot down that direction, though. Hey, K-Day, how you doing? Welcome back. We're currently in Arizona. We've been kind of in between. Obviously, we have a severe thunderstorm watch back up in Idaho and as well as Montana. And we also have this ongoing. We have a couple of warnings near Charlotte, North Carolina. So there's a little bit ongoing. Obviously, the biggest concern, this is a more populated region, which is why we're on the storm as of right now, producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. But beyond that, obviously, back up to the northwest, there will be a potential for hail as large as hen eggs and maybe a little bit of 60 to 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds in Idaho and as well as Montana. So it's kind of what we're monitoring today. Obviously, this is a warning for Phoenix, Arizona for 60-mile-per-hour winds. So we'll have to watch this one pretty closely as well. Yes, I am, K-Day. Thank you. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Definitely feeling a lot better. I haven't really been sick for probably about a week now, so I've been definitely doing better. I haven't really streamed in the last week, which would kind of explain it. Hey, Shane, how you doing? Welcome back. We're only 8 likes, by the way, away from 100. If you haven't hit the like button, I would appreciate it. A beautiful day in Indiana. It's been a very fantastic last few days in some portions of the country, mainly the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. The temperatures have just been fantastic. Hasn't been overly humid either. That's going to change a little bit, though, maybe next week, but I do think that we're going to see another cool down come in. And obviously, if you haven't already heard, next Thursday, it's going to be amazing across a lot of the United States in terms of temperatures. I mean, up in the Northeast, we're talking 70s, maybe some 60s for highs. Back through the Midwest and as well as the Ohio Valley, low 80s, fantastic. And eventually heading into, again, Thursday, down in the southern plains even, Oklahoma and Texas seeing a little bit of relief. Temperatures possibly going to drop as low as the low to mid 90s in portions of North Texas, which that area, again, has not seen that in a long time. It's been a long stretch since then, so it's crazy. Temperatures are definitely getting a little bit better. Hey, baby, how you doing? Welcome back. Oh, I did forget to mention, by the way, thank you to Jacob Wells for becoming a Hurricane Chaser off stream. I appreciate that a lot. Thank you. By the way, there is a discount, I believe, on YouTube. If you want to become a member, this is probably the perfect time to do so. I believe it's like 50% off if you're on desktop, so you might want to check that out if you want to become a member. All right. Again, just for reference, I kind of already mentioned this a little bit earlier. Again, there is a 10% possibility that we see a little tropical system develop in the next 48 hours off the Louisiana and Texas coastlines. Again, we'll watch that closely. I probably won't make much of a forecast on it. I was thinking about making a forecast today for it, but 10% is very low. If it does develop, it might become a brief tropical depression before making landfall, but I just don't think it's going to develop into anything too crazy. It's going to slowly, though, drift to the west. It's basically coming from Louisiana. It's been the storm that was producing some heavy rain in southern Louisiana yesterday, a little bit of flash flooding, but beyond that, this will be moving off to the west. And I'll kind of actually, I think I can show this on here in terms of the infrared imagery. Again, here's a look at the infrared imagery, but this is a look at the system. It is not overly organized, but this is just a lot of storm activity. This is where we're looking for that 10% chance of anything developing. It's not overly impressive. Again, the center of circulation is somewhere in here. That is forecasted to move probably towards South Texas. But again, if anything does develop, it's going to be very, very minimal. More than anything, it's just going to be rain. And here's a look at the infrared imagery back over in Arizona. Again, a lot of storm activity in this area, a lot of flash flooding still ongoing, a lot of outflow boundaries as well. You can kind of just see them getting shot off everywhere. That has prompted the ongoing warnings that we have for dust storm warnings. So we actually have a few of those ongoing. One again in Phoenix is where we currently have a dust storm warning ongoing. We've already had some pictures coming in of some dust, obviously an ongoing dust storm in this area, which happens I'm pretty sure typically pretty often in this area too. Happens a lot more during the monsoon season. Thank you, Gabe, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. I was thinking about it, Gabe. I'm not 100% sure because I'm going live now. I'm not sure if I'll do a members only stream tonight, but we'll see. Brad, let me take a look. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I don't think I'll do. We'll see. If I don't do it tonight, it might be some other time this weekend. We have 8. Brad, currently have 8. Or actually, no, we have 10. 10 hurricane chasers. Hey, Squidward, how you doing? Welcome back. I see the Four Corners getting some needed rain. Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, they need the rain. It's just a lot of this is obviously occurring into the terms of flash flooding. Let me take a look at the drought monitor. I'm not sure. Wait, actually, I think I can pull it up on here. I'm just not sure how accurate it is, or updated it is. But yeah, the area needs rain, obviously. But yeah, you can. If you look at the drought monitor, I'll see if I can pull it up on here without it not being accurate. Let's see. Should be pretty accurate. It's not overly accurate. It's kind of close. This is still, I think, a month behind. But the overall flash flooding is definitely, or excuse me, the overall drought is not nearly as bad near Flagstaff. But beyond that, it's kind of still pretty bad up here near Las Vegas. This area is still ongoing with the flash flooding concerns up that direction. Actually, this is updated. It just doesn't show you the yellow shaded area. But beyond that, though, you can just kind of see the overall drought is primarily focused, again, anywhere in the western states like California and down here to the south in areas like Texas. It is just not a good sight to see. It's a lot of rain that's needed, even in the Central Plains, even back up even near Sioux City. They need some rain as well, or Sioux City. All right, let's go over to the storms back up in Idaho real quick. We'll take a look if any of these storms have had any new updates. This storm looks to be weakening, not nearly as severe anymore, but watch it closely. Have another warning, still producing up to ping pong ball sized hail. I don't think this storm is nearly as strong as before. It is likely down to quarter size at that point. This is moving off to the northeast, not going toward Boise. Another warning, this one's actually been increasing in hailstone size. This one's down to the south of Glenn's Ferry and south of Highway 30. That's moving off to the northeast. This storm definitely has a pretty decent hail core. We'll take a look at the hail radar. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. Looks to be a pretty decent cell, though, moving off to the north. And you can kind of see, again, the hail in this storm is currently estimated around ping pong ball sized hail. It was originally warned for that size. I would expect that we do get a upgrade on the warning if that hail does continue, or at least the reflectivity values, and as well as the ongoing hail does continue as it moves off to the north. And the storm is still pretty potent in this current time, so it's definitely going to probably continue here. And also, we have flash flooding in Mesa, Arizona, by the way, on the golf course. This will look at the flash flooding on the golf course over in Arizona. Yeah, that is definitely some flash flooding. Yeah, you can just see how much it's flooded. I think this is all rain right there by that hole, is it not? Man, that's insane. That is a lot of flash flooding. I was sent to by the Red Mountain Golf team, by the way. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Let me back over to here. Hey, Tim, how you doing? Welcome back. No, I don't think we'll see any tornado threat today. Today's tornado threat is extremely low to 0. I really don't expect any tornadoes today. We did get an upgrade on this morning, by the way. Again, pretty good timing. Ping pong ball sized hail. Now the new threat on this storm. Again, moving off towards Glenn's Ferry and maybe toward Bliss. I think Glenn's Ferry is more on the track of this, going toward Highway 26. And that'll be a storm to watch again, producing some pretty hefty hail. Beyond that, we still have a warning back up here in Montana, producing some quarter-sized hail. Another one east of Cascade, middle of nowhere, but that is also producing a little bit of maybe some hail. Back down near Phoenix, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing. And again, one does include Phoenix. There's a dust storm warning, by the way, ongoing in this area. I've kind of already mentioned it, that we do have a lot of dust in this area. So that's what we currently have ongoing here. And this will look inside the dust storm, by the way. It's a very solid photo. You can actually see the trees, I think, right here. But beyond that, there's not much. A lot of dust. And that's the dust storm warning in Phoenix, Arizona. It doesn't really include a lot of this area, by the way. Let me pull up the dust storm warning again. This will look at it. Any of these orange boxes are a dust storm warning. And they all go until 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So that is a very large area. Again, it includes a lot of southern portions of Arizona. Something that obviously happens a little bit more often than not during the summer because of all the rain that we see, a lot of the downburst storms as well, all kind of create that potential. What do you see for Mississippi? You mean today? I don't think you'll see much today. If any storms do occur, it's going to be kind of isolated, but not much, honestly. And it's been kind of good this year so far. I'm kind of happy. We don't have a whole lot going on in terms of the tropics. It's been a very quiet year so far. Obviously, that will not continue forever. We're going to probably see something pretty nasty here in a couple of weeks from now, most likely. Already, there's been an insurance from the NOAA. There's actually been an area of development that we'll have to watch going into next week. This is from August 17th to the 23rd. There will be another wave coming off the coast of Africa. This one has a moderate chance and a moderate confidence of developing. So we'll have to watch that closely. As of right now, obviously, there's a lot of time between now and then, but again, we're getting close to the peak of hurricane season. 2/3 of the hurricanes and tropical storms that we do see typically happen beginning August 20th all the way through October. So we are still going to probably see a lot in terms of the tropics. Obviously, we haven't seen much this year, which I'm very thankful for. Obviously, I think everybody can agree with that, other than the people that need rain. But luckily, we have not seen anything too crazy yet this year. It's been a very, very quiet year, to say the least. But as of right now, actually, the European model is already showing going into next Sunday that there will be some sort of development just off into the central portions of the Atlantic Ocean. Again, that is next Sunday. That is the 21st. A lot of time in between now and then, but we'll have to watch that. We'll have to watch that pretty closely. GFS model actually not showing anything, which is kind of shocking. The only thing that we have to be more concerned about, though, one of the more concerning things is the Gulf of Mexico tropics. They are not, unpredictable. It's just there's a lot less time in between being able to warn the storms that do develop in the Gulf of Mexico, because typically they develop kind of almost out of nowhere. They do obviously develop kind of with some sort of time frame before they land, like 5 to 7 days. But when you kind of think about the Atlantic Ocean ones, the ones that develop back out near Africa, those we typically see not hit the United States. If they do, 2 to 3 weeks later. Gulf of Mexico is a completely different story, though. That's been a very, very quiet so far in those areas. Yes, Cabe, yeah, the one that's in the center portions of the Atlantic, that one actually has no chance of developing anymore. But there's another one that's going to come off the coast most likely in about a few days. That's the next one to watch. But yeah, the one little area of development that is no longer area development anymore, that's east of the Lesser Antilles, currently has no chance of developing in the next 5 days. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think we'll see much, at least for the next 5 to 10 days. We might start to see a bit of an uptick closer to late August. But man, I was saying back in July, we'd probably see something in early August. We have hardly seen a thing. We have not had a named storm in over a month. It's kind of crazy to think. In a while. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Hey, Davin, by the way, welcome back. Yeah, Arizona's been seeing a lot of crazy storms, and this is just one of them. Actually, there's a little hail core, by the way, up near 101. There may be a little bit of quarter-sized hail there, and we've already had a couple of reports of some smaller hailstones. This one looks to be probably closer to quarter size, maybe at least briefly there near 101. I do know there's a bit more of commuters along this area near Scottsdale. And again, going toward Phoenix. Outflow boundaries already moved through Phoenix, by the way, but this will look at the current winds. The highest wind spots that we have is actually near 101. We have a couple near 87 and 202. That is north of Mesa and southeast of Scottsdale. The outflow boundary here near Phoenix, that is producing also some damaging winds. That very well could be from the dust storm as well. Yeah, we have a dust storm warning on going up until, it seems to be until 5 o'clock Mountain Time. I don't know if they'll get extended. We'll see. I'm not actually overly familiar with dust storm warnings. I'm not going to lie. We don't ever really cover them on stream. Yeah, even over near the airport from Raymond Castillo, the Phoenix airport, there was also a lot of dust there. There's actually that I don't think any flights are being taken off. There's a load of dust going toward that area. The dust storm is insane in Arizona right now in Phoenix. It's crazy. Hey, Runway, how you doing? Welcome back. Hey, stay safe, Davin. Stay safe. Hey, CLS, currently it's going to be any of the storms today, for the most part, are in Arizona, Idaho, Montana. Those are the main states today. All right, so let me go over to this. By the way, there is another threat of severe weather tomorrow. I probably won't cover it, but there's one up in northwestern North Dakota and Montana. So there is another threat for severe weather tomorrow that we'll have to watch pretty closely. As of right now, we are down to 10 severe thunderstorm warnings. Let me take a look if we have any new ones up there in Montana. Or not Montana, I mean up in Idaho. As of right now, not a whole lot of warnings in Idaho. We have 3 in Idaho, 1 in Montana. And we still have a couple ongoing there in South Carolina. One in South Carolina, again, is producing damaging winds up to 60. We'll have to watch that one closely as well. That just went through Charlotte, by the way. It's moving down to the south. Will the lack of storms allow ocean water to warm? Yeah, the water's actually, they're really warm right now. I'm not sure what the exact temperature is. I'll take a look. They're pretty warm, though, especially in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, it's a very favorable atmosphere and environment for these storms to be able to develop. It's just there hasn't really been anything that's gone through the Gulf. And yeah, the water temperatures right now in the Gulf of Mexico, there's a lot of swells and whatnot. The water temperatures are currently in the mid 80s, which they might be slightly higher than that, but they're all in the mid 80s. And areas like in the area where the storm was trying to develop, by the way, over there in central portions of the Atlantic Ocean, the area there, it's basically on the edge and cusp of 80 degrees. So that's kind of another reason why it struggled to develop beyond just the shear and the Saharan dust. But yeah, overall, I mean, the water temperatures, if you're like kind of riding along even like the southern portions of the Atlantic Ocean where we see some storms develop, they're like the low to mid 80s. So there's a pretty big contrast there. But yeah, the temperatures are very favorable. I mean, the Gulf of Mexico is an extremely favorable environment right now. Welcome back, Arts. Hey, Caden, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, Gulf of Mexico is really hot. It is extremely hot right now. By the way, we do have a new rain report coming in Fountain Hills of about 1.25 inches of rain falling in 45 minutes. That's not nearly as insane as some of the rainfall totals we've seen in a short amount of time, but this area is under a flash flood warning. That does include Mesa, Scottsdale, Fountain Hills, and Granite Reef Dam. So this is an area to be concerned about. The threat, by the way, is considerable. So we do obviously have a lot of rain ongoing here. Let me take a look and see what they're saying on here. Between 1 to 1.5 inches of rain has already fallen. Flash flooding is expected to start or be continuing. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Yeah, that's just off to the northeast of Phoenix, kind of like the little outskirts there. This is the hail core, by the way. We very well could have some quarter-sized hail here north of Scottsdale. So that's be an area to watch as it moves down to the southwest. You're good, Benny. Yeah, I haven't been live in a while, but you're good. Yeah, I don't know what the last time I was live. Let me take a look. It's been a few days. The last long live stream I had was on the 7th, so, and that was only like an hour. The longest live stream I've had recently was 3 hours, and that was back on the 5th. So there has not been a whole lot of severe weather in the past week, and it's not going to really be that active this upcoming week. Beyond what we're seeing now, it's going to be pretty minimal. Washington looks clear. Yeah, Washington looks pretty clear. I think the threat, let me go over to the Storm Prediction Center here. Let's look at the outlook for today. So there's no, I don't know why, but there's no marginal threat down this direction. It's more of a flash flooding concern, but obviously some severe weather possible. This is what I was talking about. It's like on the edge and the cusp of Washington. It's a slim of a marginal threat, but I honestly, most of the storms have stayed well out of Washington and as well as Oregon, so has not been a whole lot of activity there. This storm, by the way, that is currently moving off to the northeast, this will probably not get a new warning. It looks like the hail core is shrinking here, but it was up to ping pong ball size hail there briefly. This area is not even under a severe thunderstorm threat today. Just because of this outflow boundary. That's the reason why these storms are able to fire up, which again, we have outliers. We always have those outliers out there, but beyond that, there's not a whole lot of severe weather up here right now, which is very good news. Not a whole lot. We only have 9 warnings as of right now. This is the worst warning, I believe, as of right now, up this direction. This one isn't even that impressive. This one's only producing some quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This storm also not producing a whole lot. A very small cell there. So we'll watch those areas closely. Again, the severe thunderstorm watch does go until 10 or 9 o'clock Mountain Time, which is another 4 hours. The worst storm that we have ongoing, again, is down here in Phoenix. So this is, again, the one that has a dust storm warning ongoing. Most of the Gulf is 88 to 93, is it? Let me take a look at the water temperatures. I was looking at windy, which I'm not sure how accurate it is. It usually is pretty accurate, though. I'm saying about 85. Yeah, like anywhere in the Gulf of Mexico right now has a very favorable environment, which is why that little system there just south of Louisiana could actually develop. The ongoing currents and really the strongest currents are kind of down in southeastern Gulf of Mexico. So let me take a look, though, at the water temperatures. Let me see if we can find it on this website. This is 30. So 86. I'm not seeing 88 to 93. It might be along like the immediate coastlines, but I'm not seeing it that high here. Take a look again. So just another website, but it says between 84 to 88. But honestly, it doesn't usually get that high. It doesn't usually get to 90. Unless you're on like the immediate coastline. It sometimes does. I'm sorry to hear that, Penny. Yeah, unfortunately, that was a really bad event. But I wasn't really around then in terms of weather. I wasn't really doing a whole lot of weather on weather, unfortunately, back then. But yeah, that was a crazy event. This is another view, by the way. This is insane. This is over at the airport again in Arizona. This is the dust storm that we're talking about. Obviously, I highly doubt any planes are taking off in this, but this is an insane dust storm here that is currently going through Phoenix, Arizona. This is again at the airport. Also, there's currently 17,500 people without power in Phoenix, Arizona. The county itself is currently around 20,000 without power. So, yeah, obviously you can really tell there's a lot ongoing here. We do have a new wind report of 66 miles per hour coming in North Scottsdale. So that was at the airport. So we're seeing some extremely high winds here. This is the area that I was mentioning that had a little bit of a hail core. That was a little area there near 101. So we do have a 66 mile per hour wind gust coming in over here. So that's a pretty insane storm that we have here in Arizona. Another storm to watch again. Moving down to the southwest as of right now. Hey, Somni, how you doing? Welcome back. There's a dog currently hiding under the bed in Houston, Texas. It's kind of funny. I saw that a minute ago. I was like, apparently there's a thunderstorm in Houston, Texas. So the dog is hiding. Yeah, there is actually thunderstorms down there in Houston right now. By the way, this warning it's not like overly new. It was issued about 14 minutes ago, but this one again is still warned for quarter size and 60 mile per hour winds. Our most recent wind gust again was 66, so I think it's taking a pretty decent storm here. By the way, we're only 3 likes away from 150. If you haven't hit the like button, I would appreciate it. We're not North Texas as of right now. The storm that I was talking about, though, apparently there's a storm down near Houston, Texas. There's just somebody on Twitter that posted their dog hiding under the couch from a storm. Quite funny. My dogs do that all the time. I think a lot of dogs do that. I mean, they don't always hide, but you know, they're usually pretty scared of the storms. There's actually a little bit of storm activity up in the Midwest. It isn't much. There's a little bit of storm activity, though, up that direction. Let me go over to the infrared imagery real quick. Let's look at the infrared imagery. And back up here into the Midwest. You can kind of see it's actually pretty impressive here. It's a little bit of storm activity. None of this really that, I mean, we're not going to see any severe weather up here, but there's been some rain in these areas. Nothing too crazy. A little bit of storm activity actually back up here in Wisconsin, but yeah, it's not much. It's pretty impressive though. Back over in Arizona again. Here's a look at it. Let me take off the radar here. Let's just look at the storms blowing up here, and obviously the dust storm ongoing here near Arizona. Near Phoenix. Pretty crazy stuff here. My info says North Texas. It's not North Texas on YouTube. Not sure what info you're talking about. Hey, Brian, I have no clue, but it's gonna be another 3 years, so I got a lot of time in between now and then. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm not entirely sure how my school year will go, so we'll kind of see, you know, if I'm able to do live streams, the capability that I've been doing recently. But we'll have to wait and see. Not entirely sure. Kind of just to be determined at this point. Yeah, Penny, my dogs are the same way. Trust me. A lot of dogs are like that. A lot of dogs are pretty scared of storms, and the loud noises, obviously, that come with them. Thunder, obviously, is loud, so that would explain why. Yeah, it happens to a lot of dogs. It's not just yours. Meteorologists do. Meteorology. This storm specifically is moving off to the west and west-southwest. This storm, again, let me just kind of put it in time lapse here a little bit. Over the last few minutes, past cast, the max cast. It's moving very slowly, so flash flooding concern is definitely ongoing with this. It's actually moving a little bit more to the west and west-northwest almost, but the outflow boundary is moving southwest, which is actually occurring to maybe create a couple of storms here near Phoenix. Not just that, but it's also creating the ongoing dust storm here. So again, there's dust storm warning still ongoing for another 6 minutes. We might get an extension on those depending on if it's still ongoing, but yeah, there's a lot of obviously storm activity here. And the warning currently has been extended more to the northwest, but again, we might see some severe weather here in Phoenix. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, there's a warning ongoing for 60-mile-per-hour winds. It's mostly associated with that dust storm. But the warning does expire in 5 minutes. Here's a look at the outflow boundary, by the way. Very, very pronounced. And we also have another one up here. So it's a couple. That one goes kind of out there. But yeah, we got a couple of ongoing ones. A couple of outflow boundaries. Thanks, Stu. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Moving backwards. Yeah, people will say that. Yeah, when storms are moving west, people always say it's moving backwards. It has a lot to do with like directional shear and stuff, though. I mean, it's not just because it's moving backwards. I'm gonna say it's moving west. I feel like somebody actually would say that the storm is moving backwards. So, because most storms, and most people are accustomed to storms moving east, but there are a lot of areas where we see storms go different directions, and that really, I mean, Florida does. Anywhere in the southeast, actually, in general, has a lot of storms that move east to west, or even north to south. We see that quite often. It happens a lot more in Arizona too during the monsoon season, for example. This is just one of those examples that is moving again from east to west. Not sure if we have a whole lot of other examples I can really bring up here, but Texas occasionally does, but not typically that often. Southwest states typically do. West states sometimes do. The Midwest, Northeast, those areas typically don't have backwards storms, if you want to call it backwards, but east to west storms. They don't typically have that too often. Yeah, California. Yeah, California the same way too. They occasionally will have east to west storms as well. So yeah, I mean, kind of give you an idea of what states would be included in that. A little bit more common, I should say, is anywhere really over here has it a bit more often. And then anywhere typically out here to the east. So anywhere in here will have that storm activity sometimes go east to west as well. But obviously, again, it's not overly common in other states. It just isn't. There's a lot more systems that, you know, they're a bit more directional, and a lot of low pressure systems back up to the north that steer a lot more of the storm activity to kind of prevent that overall threat of, you know, storms going from east to west. It does actually happen a little bit in New England too. It happens a little bit more closer to the coastlines, actually, a little bit more often than not. Which again, it does include Florida. So Florida is one of those bigger ones because Florida has the outflow boundaries and sea breezes every day during the summer, and they'll kind of collide in the middle of the state, and that'll send off a bunch of storms. And the directional shear and whatnot kind of brings it off to the west typically. In some instances, not always, but most instances it does. But yeah, it's kind of weird. I know a lot of people are kind of like, they don't understand that, but it's pretty crazy. It happens a lot more often than you think, especially in those states, and as well as the Southwest, as I kind of mentioned before, here down in Phoenix, Arizona, as of right now, and anywhere down here in the Southwest, obviously seeing that as of right now. No problem, Gabe. Appreciate you stopping by. See you again soon. We do have a new special weather statement, by the way, for this outflow boundary for 50-mile-per-hour gusty winds. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to get a new... Let me take a look. We're going to get a new dust storm warning here. I'm not entirely sure actually how these work. I've never seen them before. Obviously, I knew they existed, but I've never really seen them in action or in person. But yeah, until 5 o'clock. It might get extended. I'm not entirely sure. It's a new one for me. This is the first time I've ever covered Arizona weather. Thank you, Zab, by the way, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I bet a lot of you aren't subscribed. Hit the subscribe button down below. Would appreciate it. Helps our page out a lot. We're only 11 subscribers actually from 15,750. Or actually, no, we're 2 away. All right, let me back over to here. By the way, this warning is about to expire here in Phoenix. A new warning might get issued. We'll see. Okay, so the warning's actually glitched for the dust warning, apparently, on my software. So the warning is actually only in Phoenix. It's basically this box. I was really confused at first. So yeah, apparently my software does not work well. So there you go. But yeah, apparently my software is glitched. But there is a dust storm warning for Phoenix. It goes toward Avondale. So actually, it kind of includes, or is that the severe thunderstorm warning? That might be the severe thunderstorm warning, unless it's that pink box. I don't know. I gotta figure this out. Let me go to watches and warnings on Pivotal Weather. I'll take a look if it has it on there. Yeah, dust storm warnings we never really covered before, but that dust storm warning looked awfully large. I don't see any on here. Yeah, I have no clue. I don't think it really included that large of an area. I think it was just for like Phoenix and whatnot, because that was the area that there was a dust storm, and there's possibly still a dust storm ongoing. Hey Brian, how you doing? Happy Friday. Yeah, it's nice to have a Friday. Hope you're doing well on your Friday. Yeah, sounds good. I'm not entirely sure. I think my software is glitching out on that. All right, we're down to 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll see how much longer we're live for. I'm going to take a look and see. I'll watch the storms over the next 20 to 30 minutes. We'll see if anything develops, but it seems like a lot of the activity has been pretty minimal. Kind of went live. The first storm that we saw was 70-mile-per-hour damaging winds and hen-egg-sized hail with a population of 0. There hasn't been a whole lot since. The main storm that we have ongoing here is near 101, again, northeast of Phoenix and Scottsdale. Again, this is a pretty populated area, so I'm going to stay alive for it for a little bit, but it is quarter-sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds as of right now. By the way, I'll probably have a video forecast. If not tomorrow, there will be one on Sunday. So, yes, I am Dusk. Thanks. Yes, I am. I'm glad I'm not sick anymore. Anything in North Carolina, the only storm is now in South Carolina. It's still severe, but it is in the northern portions of the state. Oh, do you really, Toby? I didn't know that. I guess Washington also gets backward storms too. Yeah, it kind of depends, but yeah, most of the storm activity almost, I mean, I guess every state kind of can see that occasionally from storms moving east to west. But, I mean, it kind of just varies. I mean, more states, like some states see it more often than not, I should say. Because obviously storms like down the Southwest, this happens a lot more often than not during the summer, and same thing with Florida. During the winter, there's more organized events, and it kind of helps to create more storm activity that is more organized, and it moves kind of west to east. So, yeah, it's really an interesting topic, though. I mean, kind of when you think about it, storms moving east to west, a lot of people don't see it, and it's not common because we have more organized events typically, but I mean, right now, we're not seeing that. This warning, by the way, looks like it'll be expiring or canceled. That storm's weakening. We have one over in western Montana, not anything too insane at this point. Have not seen a whole lot toward Boise. I think there's a storm down. Yeah, there's one near Mountain Home. This area is a bit more populated, but overall, storm activities remain pretty minimal. So yeah, severe thunderstorm watch does go until 9 o'clock tonight. We'll see if that continues. But back over here in the Carolinas, this is actually, we have a couple of reports coming in. So this is a storm still warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds and as well as quarter-sized hail. We do have some reports coming in. One in Paw Creek, this does go for a 61-mile-per-hour wind gust. Also had a little bit of penny-sized hail here in Fort Mill. And there's also emergency management reported power lines and trees down. over in Lake Wiley. So yeah, there's actually been some reports coming in on this storm, and this has actually probably been the more severe storms that we've seen so far, actually, in terms of damage at least. There's also a storm near Camden, another one over here, excuse me, north of Augusta. I have a lot of storm activity down in southeastern portions of South Carolina as well. All right, let's go back down over to Arizona for now. Take a look at the storm. Ches, we're currently in between basically South Carolina, the Northwest states, and as well as down here in Arizona. And Arizona's been where we had most of the flash flood warnings and stuff like that. Hey, Scorpion, how you doing? Welcome back. Hey, appreciate it, Toby. Appreciate that a lot. All right, so still talking about Washington, you get 50 to 70 mile per hour winds. Really? I'm kind of surprised by that. Yeah, Washington's not a state where they see a whole lot of severe weather, but... here's a time lapse, by the way, of Evan, what are you saying? Don't read post text. What? Apparently we have a time lapse of the dust storm in Arizona, but this is actually a pretty cool time lapse. See if I can actually can I watch this? Am I able to? Guessing I can, but see if I can watch it. The dust storm, again, that went through Phoenix, Arizona was pretty insane. We had a 66 mile per hour wind gust in North Scottsdale, so it's been pretty impressive here. I don't know about that, Scorpion. Hey guys, if you want to become a member, by the way, again, I'm going to remind you guys one more time, there's a discount, I think, on YouTube this month, and if you're on desktop, I think you can do it. If you want to become a member, click the top link in the description. It is 50% off, I think, on any memberships, and you get access to bloopers and all exclusive forecasts and all that. So again, you have to become a Tornado Chaser for those benefits, but I think it's only like $2.50 or something this month, so it's on discount this month, I think. At least for me. I'm not entirely sure if everybody else sees that, but again, it's only on your first month, so just keep that in mind. I can show it. Okay, cool. Let's look at the dust storm in Phoenix. And yeah, you can. This is a time lapse, by the way, so you can just see the dust storm rolling in. I'm not sure where in Phoenix this is, but wait, she did? Oh, I didn't see that. Evan, I didn't see that in the description. Wow, look at this though. Oh my God, look how much the wind picked up there. It's insane. Again, the dust storms, they're pretty insane. I've seen videos of these in the past. This is definitely not the worst one I've ever seen, but you just see how crazy the wind picked up there. That's insane. I gotcha. All right. I completely agree with that. Yeah, DPS, it's insane. Yeah, the monsoon weather is insane. And I know Reed Timmer's been on it a lot recently, so... And there's a lot of flash flood warnings. As I kind of mentioned before, we currently have 24 ongoing. We have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings, so there is a lot of warnings ongoing in terms of flash flood warnings and whatnot as well. I'm not sure where our new one is. We'll take a look real quick. We do have a new one over in southern portions of Idaho. This is for half-dollar sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds. That is moving toward Hollister. As of right now, Highway 93 barely included in that. That will probably honestly go towards Hollister, so... Those in Hollister, if you're in Hollister, Idaho, just make sure you're prepared for maybe a little bit of half-dollar sized hail. Maybe it might get increased over time, but we'll see. Lapse rates are higher as we go more off to the north and east, so the lapse rates are as high as 9 degrees Celsius per kilometer today. It's pretty insane. They are pretty high today. Thank you, El, for the report, by the way. Yeah, I was figuring that. The dust storm was insane there. Thank you, Toby, for the $5 super chat. Hey, I appreciate that, Toby. Thank you very much. Get your super sticker. Thank you. All right, let's go back down here to the south, and I'm getting hungry. Let's go back down to the south, though. Oh yeah, guys, I almost died today. I'm not gonna lie. I got blood taken. I think I passed out or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not gonna really go too much into details on stream because it might be a little bit gruesome. It wasn't really gruesome, but it was just literally. I went so lightheaded, thought I was gonna die. Pretty crazy. First time I've ever felt like that. All right, let's go back to weather. Hey Moxie, how you doing? Welcome back. Actually, let me go back over to the let's go back to the dust storm real quick. Kind of show you guys again. It's actually kind of cool. And this is the time lapse. I might post this on our second channel. See if I can get permission. Hey Evan, can you see if I can get permission from this person? Just on the second channel. Might react to it on there. No, they did not give me juice. Yeah, they didn't give me sugar. They didn't give me juice. I thought it was dead. I'm not gonna lie. I literally thought I was in another world there for a few minutes. Like for about a good 5 minutes. I was literally in another universe. I was not in Earth. It was so weird. I didn't really pass out. I was like still able to talk and stuff. It was just I couldn't see a thing. It was the weirdest thing. Yeah, this is insane though. In this dust storm. It is insane. Again, I don't ever see these. This is you only see it on the news and stuff. So yeah, this is pretty crazy though. No, Shelly, I was breathing. Trust me, I was breathing the entire time. It was. I'm telling you, it was a weird experience. They didn't give me anything. They were just like, "Are you okay? Keep talking to me." I was like, "What am I like? You can do anything? Get some medication? Anything?" Pretty funny. Hey Sam, how you doing? Welcome back. Yeah, they usually give you like juice or something. They didn't do anything. They were just like, "Screw you." You can continue to not see anything for another 5 minutes. Yeah, but it was probably one of the craziest experiences. I mean, it didn't feel horrible, to be honest. It wasn't like, you know, I honestly thought I was dead, though. But it was pretty crazy. Like I was in another world for about 3 to 4 minutes. Nothing, Arts. I'll tell you guys more on Discord. I might actually do a little, again, I might do a little members only stream tonight, or I might even do something on Discord, just kind of talk to you guys for a bit. So I might talk about that a little bit more on there. We'll see though. If I do that, it'll probably be around 10 o'clock. So again, make sure to become a member. It's as little as like $2 a month now or something. The discount. Our Vers, hopefully saying your name right. Where's that? Fort McDowell. Let me take a look where that is. Is that Arizona? Let me just take a look where the exact location is, because that is probably a bit rural. And that is northeast of Phoenix. That is back up here. Let's see. North of Mesa, so it's kind of near 87, it looks like. Let me see your question again. Vers, you're probably fine, honestly. Most of the rain is moving off to your north and west now. There is a flash flood warning, so just be careful about, you know, being on roadways and whatnot. But overall, the main concern is now back up here in the north and west of you now. There's just mainly rain now, just light rain. It might be a little bit windy still. Nothing to be concerned about, though. You'll be fine. Beyond the flash flooding concerns, obviously, there is a ongoing flash flood warning. Toby, that's funny. That is actually pretty funny. You want hot towels, water, soup? No, I'm good. I don't need anything. Trust me. Mystic, if I ever do a members only stream, it'll be probably nothing related to weather. So I will never do a members only stream for weather ever. Like literally ever. I will not, because, you know, people that need coverage do not need to pay for coverage. There's no reason why you should ever pay to have some sort of weather coverage. That's just kind of ridiculous. Another video inside the dust storm, by the way. This was sent in by Jack. This is inside the dust storm. I'm not entirely sure where, but yeah, you can again see the amount of dust in that area is insane. A lot of dust. Not nearly as insane as the time lapse. It didn't say where that was, but that was probably somewhere near Phoenix, I would assume. Sam, it's a different air mass, and the air mass is able to produce that rain because of all the moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's actually now moving west, and that's the little tropical system that's trying to develop. And depending on how many ingredients are kind of available in that area, we may see that develop. It's just such a low chance because it doesn't have a whole lot of time to get there. So Arts, I don't know the exact conversion on that. Let me look. It should say it, though. If you click the top link in the description, it should tell you the price. $2.91 in terms of euros, apparently, but I don't know. I have no clue how it works. I'm not sure how the pricing works in United Kingdom. I'm not sure even if you can buy memberships. I have no clue. Lots of dust in my closet. Same. Sam, you should be fine. The only thing that I would even, even the smidge, or like a little smidge concerned about would only really be the rain that might come with it, maybe some isolated flash flooding, but nothing really beyond that. I'm not sure when soon is, but if it's like within the next 3 to 4 days, then you might have to be watching out for maybe a little bit of isolated flash flooding, but it's not going to be anything crazy. I mean, the rainfall totals that are being estimated, let me take a look. That's observed. Let's go to this. This is the WPC Weather Prediction Center's forecast. It's currently forecast to be around 3 inches of rain near Corpus Christi. Now, we do see isolated amounts higher than that quite often. That's just a broad estimate. Let me take a look at the next 48 hours are currently forecasted to be about, I mean, they could get as high as 6 to 7 inches, but I don't think we'll see anything too crazy beyond that. Let me go to the NAM3K model. We'll take a look at that one too. And yeah, the estimated rainfall totals, even by the NAM3K, they peak at 7 to 8 inches right along the coastline, if that. But that's not near Corpus Christi. That's kind of closer to Lake Jackson. But obviously, it's going to depend on what the system really does. Because if it does develop into something tropical briefly, obviously rain is going to be the main concern. But overall, the circulation, it's going to be pretty difficult to develop, I think. It really, when it's going to make landfall, is most likely going to be tomorrow, and today's Friday, so tomorrow morning or tomorrow late evening into the overnight hours, that's when it's going to make landfall. So I think the overall chances of it really developing is still very low. Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Again, I'll probably make a forecast on it tomorrow if there's anything too crazy to be concerned about. I think the rain's going to be more concerning more than anything. National Weather Service said up to 2 inches in Arizona. Yeah, I think anywhere in Arizona might get, well, I mean, we've already seen above 2 inches in terms of rain, maybe in this part of Arizona. Let me take a look at the rainfall in the last 12 hours. We'll do the last 12. Actually, now we'll do the last 6. We'll hop over to the last 6 hours in terms of rainfall. The rain's been, there's been a lot of rain though. And we do have our latest 5 o'clock update, so take a look at that. Yeah, there's been a lot of rain in this area, without a doubt. No problem, Sam. See you later, Toby. Appreciate you stopping by. Do you have the chocolate brand Cadbury in the United States? I've never heard of it, so I don't think so. Unless somebody else has heard about it. I've never heard of it, though. Oh, Fountain Hills. Okay, I gotcha. Thank you. I gotcha. All right, here's a look at the rainfall totals. So Fountain Hills, for example, this is just an estimate. In your Fountain Hills, it was around just under 2 inches of rain. So yeah, you're very well spot on with that. Most of the rain has been just under 2 inches in these areas that are under flash flood warnings. Obviously, we will probably get to 2 inches though, and a couple of those spots. The highest rainfall totals over here east of Black Canyon apparently got nearly as high as 4 inches. So it's been a lot of rain there. We've had some flooding concerns back up here northwest of Black Canyon City, around 3.5 inches of rain. East of Prescott, there's also been rainfall totals around 4.5 inches, near 5 inches of rain almost in a couple of those spots. Again, that is the last 6 hours. Back southwest of Jerome, around 3 to 3.5 inches. And over near Highway 93, we've also seen some pretty hefty rainfall. Again, 3 to 3.5 inches over there as well. So it's been a lot of heavy rain, and there's actually a lot of flooding reports up here near... let me go back over to the live radar here. How do we do that? Let me do this. Ooh, wrong thing. Let me go back over to the live radar. We'll take a look at the storms over here. There's a lot of flooding reports apparently up here. And let's take a look. So roads are closed in this area. That's near Kingman, as well as east and southeast of Bullhead City. Yeah, a lot of looks like they're actually all the same reports, but they're all the same area, just south of 68. But a lot of roads closed due to the flooding. Also, Temple Bar is closed because of flooding. I love the dog barking. There's also stream gauge recorded at 3.5 feet rise, or 3.5 foot rise, excuse me, in the Black Canyon Creek. So it's been a lot of rain in these areas. And those are just a few of the reports. We also have one near Tucson, if I'm saying that right. Hopefully I'm saying the name right. Tucson, it might be that. That's flash flooding also in Sabino Creek. So that was actually an area, I think, where Reed Timmer was, if I'm not mistaken. So we also have a new one at 444 in Cave Creek as of recently. Indicated Cave Creek has reached a stage that will close low water crossings. So that's a new one there. Also, with the warning here in Phoenix has been canceled, or actually, I think it expired. So it's our latest update there. Cadbury eggs. Oh, that's what it is. Oh yeah, we have that. It's like Cadbury. I've never heard of that. Cadbury. Yeah, Cadbury's pretty good. It's the middle of nowhere. Most of these places. I mean, not all of them, but some of the places are in the middle of nowhere. Ohio's been very chill. I know a lot of the United States has been very, very quiet recently, which I'm really all for at this point. Hey, I'll see you later, Penny. Appreciate you stopping by. Tucson, thank you. I knew that. Just kidding. All right. Well, as of right now, we are at 3 warnings and 21 flash flood warnings. So we'll see what happens over the next few minutes. But if there's nothing too crazy, I'll probably end it there. But we'll see. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock Mountain Time. But it does not seem like there's a whole lot of activity right now. It might increase a little bit, but you kind of see a couple of these storms are strong, not severe. A lot of the severe weather seems to have already happened at this point. We actually have a tree down over in Powell from earlier. Near mile markers 143 and 144 on US 12. So that's another recent report that we have. Storm activity up this direction, though, not a whole lot. I mean, most of the storm activity right now is currently in southern portions of Idaho. All right, here's a look at the live radar across the map. We have storm activity all across the southwestern states, Rocky Mountains. Really, the only other severe thunderstorm warning that we have ongoing beyond the one in Idaho is the one in South Carolina for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-sized hail. That's for Lancaster, Heath Springs, Andrew Jackson State Park, a lot of other areas. USC, Lancaster as well. Air Force Base, as well as the Faith Christian School. There's actually some areas on here that are schools and whatnot. So this is the other storm that we have ongoing. So it's been pretty, minimal at this point, which is good news. And it's been pretty minimal for a week now. The only reason why I went live was actually because we got a slight risk, which so far is it's been pretty much widely scattered. So it's been pretty close to the characteristics for a slight risk. It's definitely been there. But tomorrow, which I probably won't go live for, but there is another threat tomorrow for the northern states and Northwest again. That does include Montana. It's another large marginal risk. This is a look at it. So it goes from Livingston back up into northwestern North Dakota. If there's some sort of upgrade, something to be noted here, I might go live, but I don't think I will. It's going to kind of depend on see what happens. But beyond that, not a whole lot of severe weather is expected beyond the next several days. That's kind of what we're expecting at this point in terms of severe weather. It's been, again, it's not been too crazy recently. It's been very, very minimal, which again is actually seasonably reasonable at this point. We don't typically see a whole lot of severe weather in August to begin with. If any, it's typically pretty minimal. So we're definitely at that point right now. Thank you, by the way, Mohammed, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Appreciate you subscribing. Again, if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. And make sure to hit the like button. Helps the page out a lot. Love our monsoon season. Hey, some people love it, some people don't. Having rain every day, though, is always a nice thing. But unfortunately, though, the rain is coming at a cost of flash flooding. So simply what ends up happening. We have a new rain report, by the way. In 30 minutes, there was almost 2 inches of rain in North Scottsdale. So in only 30 minutes. It's insane. And again, a lot of rain in this area. Unfortunately, it's been a lot of flash flooding, to say the least. You're lush and green. Texas needs it. Texas is all dead grass, basically, at this point, unfortunately. A lot of Texas, at least. Hey, Patricia, how you doing? Welcome back. What I'm more disappointed about right now? Patriots lost last night. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. Preseason's not right. Again, I watch preseason football a lot. There's nothing else to really do. August is honestly this month for weather, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's been very, very inactive so far. Typically, we have something going on in the tropics. There just isn't much, and it's crazy to think. I mean, if we go back over to the infrared imagery and we go back over to the Gulf of Mexico, again, there's this little system with a 10% chance of developing. Will it develop? Maybe. It's a very low chance, but if it does, I mean, I wouldn't be at this point surprised if we did, because the waters are just so warm. The environment is very favorable in this area. It's just going to depend on if this thing can get its act together as it comes off the coast of Louisiana, but we'll see. It's only area development at this point. This is the, actually, I can't go that far to the east, but there's another area development that we had earlier in the week down over in portions of the center Atlantic Ocean that is now no longer an area of development. It just kind of fizzled out. Doesn't really have the best characteristics or an environment for that to develop. So it's been a very, very inactive month, which I'm not complaining about. Just means that I don't have as much to do. Not a whole lot to do other than, watch the little events that are ongoing, which there hasn't been a whole lot of crazy stuff other than the obviously monsoon weather that is very typical for this time of the year. Yeah, Jen, I agree. Yeah, the overall rain has not been, it's helped a little bit, but it's definitely, there's more rain needed in these areas for sure. If anything develops in the Gulf, it'll become a hurricane extremely quickly. I agree with that. Yep. If anything does, but it seems at this point that we won't see anything for at least the next 7 days beyond that one little system, which, again, very short notice, but it's probably not going to develop anyway. So we'll see what happens. Again, I was kind of watching that yesterday. I was thinking this actually might get, you know, a little area development. It won't probably be that high, and sure enough, it actually got an area development today. So apparently we have some flash flooding in Tempe, Arizona, which is, by the way, over here. This person says, there's a flash flood in our street. I love this place. It's sent in by Lindy. So apparently they love this place because they got rain all over the road. Okay. Apparently they love the flash flooding. That might also be sarcasm. I'm not sure. But that is a little bit of a look at it there. Hey, by the way, Evan, did you ask if I can react to that video or whatever from the Gabrielle person? I would appreciate it. I might put that on our second channel. This year's weather's been extremely weird. I agree with that too. Actually, I might even put that on our main channel. We do flash flood warning, by the way, for Scottsdale and in northern Tempe as well. Downtown Scottsdale, Tempe Market. Tempe's actually included on there. Paradise Valley, Phoenix, kind of northeastern Phoenix, included in that new flash flood warning. So again, 66-mile-per-hour winds is what's currently ongoing here. Or excuse me, that was a recent report at 4:37. Haven't had much of any severe weather with this at this point. The severe weather, the only warnings are in South Carolina and as well as Idaho. We only have 3. Flash flood warnings is all we got at this current time. Yeah, this honestly, last year's weather was pretty crazy too. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it, Evan. Let me know if they respond, because I'll probably end up putting it on the channel. Actually, a really good video. Hey Sarah, how you doing? Welcome back. It's like Mead getting rain. Where is that? I have no clue where that is, though. I have no clue where that is. Should become a reaction channel when there's no weather. I just don't think so. I just don't think so. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm like weather reactions. It's kind of like, you know. Does Phoenix have reservoirs to collect all that water? I'm not entirely sure, honestly. Again, I've never been to this part. I mean, I've been here to Arizona, but I've never really looked into that. Max reacts and man, all the copyright things that you go through with those sort of things are insane. Actually, I did though. That'd be pretty funny. We got more max velocity already. We're not going to go too far beyond that. The only next channel I'd ever make would maybe be a react channel, but probably never going to happen. Okay, so apparently there's over 9,000 reservoirs in Arizona. Max doesn't react. That's a good one, too. A good one. All right, let me back over to here. Let's see if we have any new photos or videos coming in. We do have a new mesoscale discussion actually coming in from the Storm Prediction Center. This is from 43 minutes ago, but I'm going to bring it up anyways. This is back up in Montana. And it doesn't seem like it's going to pop up on the screen. The new mesoscale discussion is basically for Idaho. This is, again, where we have a severe thunderstorm watch ongoing. For those in western Montana and Idaho, this is for the threat for severe hail and wind will continue. Some threat will spread east of the watch, but the need for a downstream weather watch is uncertain. So as of right now, there may be a new severe thunderstorm watch. We'll see. Not a whole lot of severe weather obviously ongoing in Montana as of right now, so the chances of a new watch seem to be fairly low. I do have a special weather statement for 30-mile-per-hour winds and a little bit of pea-sized hail, nothing too crazy. We still have that warning down here in southwest of Twin Falls near Hollister. Again, this is for half-dollar sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds, so that's what we got going as of right now. Aviation, not a whole lot. We had a little bit more storms at the beginning, but overall, Idaho or Montana are the two states that we're watching for severe weather today. The flash flooding concerns are still continuing across portions of Arizona. We actually do have a brand new warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds west of Buckeye. So this is in a rural area, but it is producing 60-mile-per-hour winds, nickel-sized hail. Again, we did have a dust storm go through Phoenix earlier, so there's obviously been a lot of storms in this area. We did have a 66-mile-per-hour wind gust north of Scottsdale, so that's what we've seen so far. Hey, Brady, how you doing? Welcome back. Alrighty, that's actually probably going to do it for the stream tonight. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. There hasn't been a whole lot of severe weather recently, at least in the last few minutes, so I'm not going to stay live for too long. I do appreciate everybody tuning in, though. Again, make sure if you want to become a member this month, I believe YouTube has a discount right now. It's 50% off, so you get exclusive access to bloopers, and we also might have some membership live streams here pretty soon, so make sure to become a member. Again, top link in the description if you want to become a member. Otherwise, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to like the video. I would appreciate it, but that's going to do it for tonight. Again, if you're in any of these warnings, stay safe, turn around, don't drown. Again, get to higher ground if you're in any of these flash flood warnings. And obviously, if you see any rain above 3 to 4 inches, that can eventually become a little bit more significant. So definitely make sure you're turning around, don't drown. In any instance, and any time you see water under underpass, make sure you do that proper precaution. Beyond that, severe weather may still continue back up in Idaho and as well as Montana. Again, very isolated, it seems like this point. Beyond now, there is still a watch until 9 o'clock, but not a whole lot of severe weather right now, so we're going to go ahead and end it there. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Again, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you all again soon.